going on, everybody? It's your favorite host, A. Millie, for the Sip and Sip podcast, and I'm back for another episode. Tonight's guest, she is really no guest. She has been on the Sip and Sip podcast before. She is the star of OWN TV's Love and Marriage DC. Everybody, give it up for Winter Harris. Hey, girl.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing amazing. Doing amazing.
You look amazing. You have the beat face, the hair. It is giving snowflake. It is giving
Yes.
Winter Harris, honey. It
It
is giving
is.
gutter Barbie. The positive gutter Barbie.
Yes, the good version. Oh,
The
goodness.
good version. How are you, Winter?
Busy, booked, and busy.
Booked and busy. I mean, from the first season, you have actually been booked and busy. You've had your singles to come out. You have a
Yeah,
new love this season, which is season 2. And I know
yeah.
we talked last year for your first season. How has life changed for you from the first season up until now?
Um, it's a 180. Life is completely different. Um, what's the saying? Be careful what you pray for,
Ooh.
So I'm like literally walking out my prayers real time. And it's crazy to see the manifestation of everything I've prayed for, I've walked through and worked hard for, manifest real time. And then it's like, and then some. So it's things that I never even dreamed of happening that's happening. It's just wild. I'm like, and the crazy part, my team always says, like, girl, this is only the beginning. And I'm just like,
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
okay, like I hear you guys, but this is a lot right now. But I'm so grateful. I'm in an incredible season of my life, and the saying, like, it's winter time. It's definitely winter time, and I'm really grateful. It's just been incredible.
It's wintertime and you are outside because I saw yesterday you were very much outside. You had the opportunity to
Yeah.
sing the national anthem at a Wizards game. So please tell me, how was that? Because you are a living testimony when it comes to being booked and busy. So this was very major
It
for
was.
you, of course, being on national TV each and every week. But how was that, singing the national anthem at an NBA game?
Incredible. Like, I don't even think people can really understand. I know we hear about this all the time. It's usually an opportunity that's really reserved for pretty notable singers, or like, as a new recording artist, let me just be very clear. New recording artists, most people don't get these opportunities for a really long time. So for
Mhm.
this to happen within not even a year of releasing my first single, and to have it happen on such a major stage, like there were over 15,000 people in that arena last night. I believe the
Wow.
arena holds 20, and they were pretty full last night. So I don't even want to know what the exact number was. And I'm glad I didn't know that ahead of time. I just know that I'm grateful that the lights were off, and you can't really see everyone when you're singing, but it was just, I don't even know that it's sunk in yet. I'm just going to
Mhm,
be honest. Like, I'm still kind of like processing
mhm.
all of it, like that really happened. And to have such a successful first try, like, y'all, I've never done this before. I've never sang the national anthem anywhere. And for that to
Wow.
be my first opportunity, it was just a really, really huge pivotal moment in
Mhm,
my life and career. Like, it
mhm.
was huge to hear that crowd scream. And trust me, you don't have any music, okay? I don't think people understand. This is why, some of the greats like Whitney Houston go down in
Mhm.
history for singing the national anthem, because it's actually one of the most difficult songs to sing. And a lot of people, are known to do it a cappella. So you don't have music to cover up your voice. You don't have anything because it's dead silence in there.
Mhm, mhm.
And that mic is probably the hottest mic I've ever like sung on. So
Wow.
got a hot mic, it just means that that mic picks up absolutely everything you say and do.
Mhm.
So if I were to crack or hit a wrong note or freeze up and not, they would have heard it. You know what I mean? So forget the words. How about that? How about the one thing you don't want to do is forget the words to the national anthem? So
That's right. But
I
you didn't though.
no,
You
I
like
didn't.
you didn't. And can I
No.
say you looked very regal, you looked gorgeous. You looked like an R&B superstar up there.
Oh, thank you so much. I just wanted to not forget the words, hit all my notes, and finish strong. And the best advice, my sister sings as well. And she said, Winter, I'm not worried about you singing the song. Just don't do nothing crazy because people hate when you mess up the national anthem. Like the
Yes.
best national anthems are just sang the way it's meant
Mhm.
to be sung.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
just sing the song. That's the best
Yes.
thing you can do. It was the best advice I could have got. It helped because let me tell you, under that type of pressure, with that many eyes looking at you, I was shaking. If they had a panned really closely, they would have seen my leg shivering. I was just like, oh, just get through it.
I couldn't tell in the video. It seemed like you were very much at home and so comfortable. And I get you. I'm not a singer. I can't even carry a tune, but in the shower. But when I get up on stage, if I'm hosting or emceeing an event, I get nervous right before I go on stage. And I have this thing that I do. I say these words. Betsy Brightly bought some butter. It is something that I learned when I was in the choir,
Yeah.
and it kind of go that nervousness goes away. But it's something that when you hold that mic in your hand, knowing that your talent is getting ready to show to so many people, that nervousness kind of goes away. And that's what I saw last night with you. You did a phenomenal job, girl.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I think once I heard the crowd like
Mhm.
just erupt, I said,
Mhm.
okay, we did a good job.
Yes, and
We
it's
did
and there's many more to come too. It's
yes.
many more. This is just the first one. Like they say, get ready, get set, because winter is here. You have
Winter is
left
here.
your
Yes.
mark. You
I
have left your
appreciate that.
mark.
It was a
And
big
and
deal.
and speaking of leaving your mark, you
Yeah.
left a huge mark on season one for Love and Marriage DC. And I think the people, the fans, I'm a snowflake. I am.
Oh,
And I think so many people, I know Carlos King, shout out to him. I know he heard the people's cry, because if you did not come back on for season two, I don't think anybody would be watching this season. But yet here you are, and you are still making your mark for season two.
the Snowflake Squad is deep.
Yes,
And he knows that. He does know that. He communicates that often. Like Winter has a very strong fan
yes.
base. And I do. And I don't take any credit for that. I'm really grateful that I feel like despite the BS of season one, I do feel like the fans really saw me and they saw that I was in a pretty difficult position.
Hmm.
But ultimately, my personality had opportunities to shine. And
Yes.
that's what I think really won the audience over.
Hmm.
So definitely the Snowflake Squad has, I feel, doubled in size this season. It's a lot of people
Yes.
that aren't Snowflake season one that are now, Snowflake season two. And it's been kind of incredible to watch that transition. But I
Mm-hmm.
do feel like, at least for me, the audience is going on a journey with me because
Hmm.
I went through a lot season one. And then to have like that break over the summer to do so much healing and really growing and evolving and reinventing myself in some ways, or just, expounding on who I already was.
Hmm.
This season, I really came in with the intentionality of giving people winter, and not just, the winter that they saw going through the mess, but who I really am and who I
Hmm.
feel like my family and friends all have known me to be all these
Hmm.
years, but the fans didn't get an opportunity to see that. And so
Hmm.
I'm grateful to be able to show that this season. And I think that is what has resonated the most. Like, okay, this is how you come out the fire not smelling like smoke.
Hmm.
And being a testament of resilience, because
Mhm.
there's a lot of resilience you have to come through a lot of the things that I've been through in my life. So it's just that, like I said, it's a great time to be alive. And I told my Snowflake squad I would make them proud this season, and I really feel like I accomplished that.
You did. You did. I feel like season two has shown you so much in a different light. You see your growth. You see your growth as a businesswoman. And as a mom, I love seeing your daughter on season two, because we got some things to talk about, of course, with your new relationship. And I just say that has been my favorite part of the whole season, seeing you happy. And can I just say, and probably speak for most of the snowflakes, you are glowing. You are
Thank you.
glowing.
I appreciate that. I'm just in a solid place. I think sometimes when you endure a lot of storms and then you come out on the other side, I think
Mhm,
when you're in a good place, good things will
mhm,
come. And I think
mhm,
it was just the right time for
mhm,
me. Not that it was planned at all. It just was the right
mhm,
time. So
mhm,
yeah, I love my kids. I love that you get to see more of them when we come back for the second set of our season. But
yes,
they are funny. And
yes.
I was literally about to have a whole panic attack that scene. I was like, what is happening right now? Like, what? Like,
Yeah, because it kind of seemed like, with your daughter, she once was best for her mom,
yes,
and it was just so beautiful to see the dynamics between you both.
yes,
And even watching this season, the first half of the season, because I know you guys are coming back.
yes,
I mean, it was so much drama going on for season two, but good drama, and it had a lot of positives.
yeah.
And one thing I liked was the dynamic of the gutter Barbies coming together and squashing all of the negativity and the beef. I thought that was a scene that everybody needed to see. And how did you feel going into the second season with Ashley and Erana, and that dynamics from season one?
I knew it was going to be a challenge. I was like, oh goodness. But one of the things that I really knew had to happen was we had to figure out a way to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And being the odd man out, I knew that it would come with some semblance of humility on my part, their part. Like we had to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just old. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
at some point, we need to move past it. There's nothing that has transpired that is completely unforgivable.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just needed to happen. I think it was the fans loved it. We
Mm-hmm.
are in a much better place because of it. But I think it's also lifted the heaviness in a sense of the show, because there's not this sense that, oh my god, someone is getting bullied. And then
Mm-hmm.
honestly, that I feel is what drove a lot of the fan base in my favor, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like the fans became aunties and overprotective aunties and
Oh
uncles.
yes,
Like, oh heck no, we're
yes.
not gonna let her be bullied. So in order to balance all of that out, I think we realized, like, at some point we got to figure this out and try to
Mm-hmm.
see if we can get past it. And it really wasn't about being friends. It was just being able to be in an environment where we could coexist. But it
Mm-hmm.
just so happened that in the midst of our attempts at reconciliation, we realized we really didn't dislike each other. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that has opened the door for us to begin building outside of the show. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people ask, like, well, is it just for the show, or girl, they had to figure it out because they're all under contract? Like, no, we didn't have to figure it out. We could very well still not be friends. But believe it or not, I actually see all of them outside of the show. And you'll
Wow.
see some interesting dynamics progress as the show progresses. I can't tell it, but um, it's interesting the way things kind of pan out. But I mean, if you follow our social media, you guys know that we hang out.
Oh yes, I've seen the lives.
Yeah,
I think you and Ashley are the duo that we need. I love the it's like both of you all are night and day with each other. You
yes, we
know,
are.
the shade, the fun shade. And then of
Yes.
course we got Erana. She's like always in the middle. So but I'm loving the dynamic of three strong black women.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. We call it OG energy. Um,
OG energy, yes.
OG energy, because the reality is that we're the originals at this
Hmm.
point, and the originals essentially anchor the show. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So it's been really nice. I've appreciated the dynamic this season. The
Hmm.
tides definitely turn, and things get
Yes.
interesting season or the second half of the season,
Hmm.
and my position becomes a very interesting one. And I think the fans will welcome the dynamic, but it is certainly much different than season one. So,
Ooh, and
um,
I love it because another one of my favorites is I felt like in season one nobody had your back, and
no,
of course Monique was always in the middle and kind of playing tit for tat or teeter totter, but this season you have Sherelle. I love Sherelle on this show. She is hilarious. She is
yes,
funny.
she is.
And of course, I think everybody can say she and her husband kind of had the alley oop to you and your new king. You should.
Yeah, that happened. First of
Yeah.
all, Sherelle and I are really friends, and like we were building a friendship
Mhm,
prior to the show. And we've all like our friend group outside of the show is really tight. So
mhm.
we've just grown really, really close. In fact, I'll have both of her daughters overnight this weekend because our daughters are old. Well, my baby girl and her oldest girl are the same age,
Oh
and so we're
wow,
having a
yes.
sleepover this weekend. But we're just really close. But yes, so the story behind that is that they've actually known Yusha for, I want to say, anywhere between 5 and 10 years. It's one of those things. I want to say maybe 5 years for Sherelle and maybe
Mhm,
10 years for Black.
mhm,
But they used to work together. So they've just known each other for a really long time. But whatever prompted them to get this bright idea once they met me in the summer of last year to connect us, it really just was timing and the way things worked out
mhm,
with it being during the show. You know what I
mhm.
mean? So in
Yes.
their mind, they were like, well, this is a great time to introduce them and it's a great time to showcase our podcast. So yeah, and lo and behold, we get asked to be guests of this podcast, not knowing that really the goal is for them to set us up. And
Wow.
it was literally what people saw. I mean, I didn't even know that my co-host was a guy. Like they didn't tell me anything. They
So
just
you didn't going into shooting the podcast, you didn't know anything.
no. My
Wow.
producer didn't tell me anything, and I was just like, y'all really set me up tonight. Like that, y'all little sneaky jokers. All they said was, "Girl, make sure you look cute." And I'm like, I'm like, I always look cute. What are you talking
Mhm,
about? Like
mhm.
when I figured out what the situation was, I said, "Oh, okay."
So I
I
gotta ask you this question: was it love at first sight when you saw him? It was. Oh, it was not.
No, it was
Wow.
not. It was chemistry. And it really wasn't at first sight. I thought he was attractive, but
Mhm,
I mean, he's attractive. That doesn't mean anything else. But
mhm.
once we started to talk, it was just like, "Ooh, okay, it's a little chemistry there."
Yes.
Because we were like, I don't know, we just kind of clicked. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it wasn't love at first sight, but it definitely was. He calls it conversational chemistry, which is actually the name of our YouTube channel. And
Yes. Yes.
yes, we had conversational chemistry. Like off the bat, I was like, okay, he's definitely someone I can talk to.
Mhm.
And that kind of understands how I communicate. So yeah, it wasn't love at first sight at all, but definitely conversational chemistry. Love really didn't happen for me. Definitely happened before happened for me before it happened for him. But
Wow.
for me, it was really everything he did for me. So you guys see the Romancipation where
Mhm.
so they were supposed to film it it was just too much of a quick turnaround. But essentially, he was supposed to fly to LA that weekend and go to an industry situation. Literally postponed his flight to be there for the Romancipation. And then
Mm.
what you guys don't see is that I have a nonprofit that I'm hosting, like an event called the Winter Wonderland, where
Mm-hmm.
I hosted kids who have incarcerated parents doing a lifetime sentence. So I had planned like this huge Winter Wonderland event. They were going to get Christmas gifts, just an incredible event. But I had it at his building, and he actually like came in at the last minute and like gifted his building for us to use for this event. So what he did was postpone his trip to LA, stayed for the Romancipation, literally left the Romancipation, went to his building to make sure that they finished everything they needed to do for us to be good to go for the
Wow.
next morning, and caught a flight out like at 6 a.m. to LA.
Wow. Oh,
Got
he's a keeper.
like literally
He,
got no sleep to make sure that we had everything for that event that Saturday.
wow.
It was at that moment that I
That
was
you were like, if we locked in, we not switching up. It was like,
yeah.
and just the chemistry in that scene when you performed on stage. And I thought when he walked out and he started rapping his part, I thought that was such the cutest thing. I was like, oh my gosh, like this.
Yeah.
He definitely, and it was like you were glowing from the time he walked in and on stage. You could see all of the chemistry. You all have had chemistry from the first episode you guys met and up until now, and just to see the growth, and you have smiled this entire season. You look, like I said, you're glowing, the happiness, and
Lord.
it's all, and it's in it. I say this, you deserve that. We all women, we deserve to have our knight in shining armor, and he is, to do all of that just to make sure that you are good. Oh, he's a keeper.
Yeah, definitely. So it's been a different experience. I don't think people now I have a newfound respect for people that have marriages and relationships on reality TV.
Really? So
Yeah.
what is the newfound aha that you have found with relationships being on reality TV?
It's tough because, for us, we're new,
Mhm.
so I feel like I said this before, like all of the privacy that people would have to work out the kinks or
Mhm.
go through your ups and downs, we got a camera in our face, right?
Mhm.
Like there's no privacy to really dig through that and really sift through. I mean, we were intentional about it, but we're still trying to figure out what this is. You know what I mean? Like for the
Mhm.
moment we're trying to figure out what this is, there's a camera in our face. That
Mhm.
is a lot of pressure. And, we didn't get the luxury of meeting in private. We met for the
Right.
first time on a reality show. So for
Mhm.
the people that are like, girl, keep it private. How, Sway? We met on a reality show. Ain't no way. Are you kidding me? That doesn't work that way, So it's just different, and it's really, unless you're in it, it's kind of hard to explain, but no one wants to feel pressure either way. You want to be able to take your L's or your wins in your
Mhm.
own at your own pace, in your own stride, and we unfortunately do not get the luxury of that with a camera in our face. So it's
Mhm.
just different, and we've had to make sure that we have taken intentional time outside of the show, um to make sure we have that. You know what I mean? The foundation outside of the show is solid.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's something we've talked about, even since filming this wrap. Like, okay, back to our regularly scheduled relationship.
Right. Right. How do your kids feel watching you on this show and with your new king? How is that dynamics, especially for your oldest daughter? Because I know she's like, Mom, we got to talk about some things. Like, how is that for your children to watch you find love on the show?
They're okay with it. My kids, believe it or not, have been an advocate for me dating. They don't think I really date. And it's not that I don't date. I just don't bother them with it until they need to be
Mhm.
bothered with it.
Mhm.
I try to be protective in that sense. But they want me to be happy ultimately as my kids. That's their greatest hope for me. And I mean, you guys will get to see this play out, but at this point in the juncture, we're 5 months in, so clearly they know who this man is,
Yes.
and it's all good. But they're not the type of kids that would block that in any way. So they're, happy for me as long as I'm happy.
And I love that. As long as you are happy and your kids see you glowing and happy, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And I do have to ask, what was your reaction when Ashley was kind of grilling Yusha? What was that? What was that like for you? To like,
I would
okay,
expect
like
I would expect no less from Ashley, but it's like relax. I think I've learned my lesson at this point, and trust and believe we are not getting any further if I have not verified some things. So I've learned you ain't got to ask on my behalf. We're
right,
good.
I got
I
this.
got
I
this.
done check marked everything. He's
Yes,
good.
absolutely.
He's
Crazy.
good. He's good. Now, along with season two with the drama, it was so much, especially with Ashley and Joy. Tell me, what was your reaction to this whole situation between them, especially on the last episode, the mid season finale?
Yeah.
What was going through your mind watching this?
Craziness, but I won't speak on it too much because they pick up right where that left off, and you'll get to
Mm.
learn my thoughts. um but grateful I wasn't a part and I was not there, so hallelujah for the absence is all I can say.
It's like my name is Bennett and I'm not in it.
Okay, like praise the name of Jesus that my invite got lost in the mail, so I was at heavenly peace with my man.
Ooh, and also you on for season two, you and Sherelle, like I love the dynamics between you all, and you all have a real friendship.
We do.
Now, what did you think about? You were not at the event for Quick. With the renaming of the street, what did you
Oh,
think about Sherelle and Erana going at it this season?
Ray Ray always does the most, but it just wasn't the right moment. And I know Sherelle owns that. So,
Mhm,
and I agree. Like, okay, this wasn't the right time to
mhm,
address it. But I do feel like, what Ray Ray said was out of bounds. And
mhm,
honestly, I said to her, like, what if the shoe was on the other foot? I couldn't have said that about Jamie and you wouldn't have felt some type of way. You know what I
mhm,
mean? So
mhm,
come on, how is she supposed to feel or react to something like that? But
mhm,
it was just doing too much. I ultimately felt bad for Quick because that was his day and it really
mhm,
got overshadowed by the foolery. So
mhm.
that's the unfortunate part, but it is what it is. This group, child, something's bound to happen.
It's something happening, with each and everybody has played a significant part this season, and I can say season two is very, very strong because
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see the rest of the season. And I
Yeah.
know you all are bringing the fire, but you are bringing the winter because winter is here, all the
Yeah.
snowflakes. So what can we expect moving forward for the rest of the season?
More positivity from Winter,
Mhm,
more working on my craft and things I
mhm,
have ongoing. I'm continuing to build and grow and evolve. Of course, you guys will get to see the development of Yusha and I. You'll get to see, my kids make appearances, and
mhm.
really just how the relationship between myself and the girls continue to evolve, and how we come together as a group. The men get involved in there, and it's a very um it's definitely something to watch. I'm looking forward to it coming back as well.
I cannot wait to see it because you all have brought the heat. I think season two will be in the history books for drama, and it has been every episode, and I just cannot wait to see everything else unfold because, like I said, Love and Marriage DC, you all are bringing the heat. You
Yes,
all
we
are
are.
bringing the heat.
I'm excited.
They
It's this season.
Yes, and I gotta ask you before we end this interview, do you have any new music coming out? I know you dropped "Sign My Papers."
Uh-huh.
That was such a fan favorite song
Yeah.
last season, and then this season you had "Gutter Barbies" and you performed. Does
Yeah.
Winter Harris have any new music that you're about to drop, and will we see it for the rest of the season?
You will.
Ooh, I cannot wait.
You will. Yeah.
I cannot wait to
Thank
hear that.
him.
And I want to know is will you should make an appearance on this new single?
He won't.
Oh, he won't.
He won't. No, he
Oh
won't.
wow. So what in the near future what would you and you should do a song together again?
I'm sure. I'm
Mhm.
sure. I mean, we definitely look and talk about collabing a lot. So it's not out of the question, but this I will complete my EP and um be responsible for that on my own. But yeah, I wouldn't put it past us. It's not out of the question.
Well, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for that. Winter Harris, thank you so much for coming back on the Sip and Sit.
Thank you
It
for
has
having
always
me.
been a pleasure. I am a faithful winter ed. I'm a snowflake. Like I said, winter is here and she is here to stay.
Yes,
She
I
is here
am.
to
Thank
stay, and
you
I
for
cannot
having me.
wait to see the second part of season 2 of Love and Marriage DC coming on
Mhm.
soon. And again, Winter, can you drop your social media handle so people can follow you and keep up with you, child? Because you are booked and
Yes.
busy.
So simplywinter.com. I'm Simply Winter on IG, TikTok, and Twitter, and then Simply Winter on Facebook.
Oh, I love it, and I've seen you on TikTok, girl. You get down on TikTok.
I do. I love it so much.
You get down on TikTok. Well, thank you so much again for coming on
Thank
the Sip and
you.
Sit, and I cannot wait to have you back.
Excited. Look forward to it. Thank you for having me this time.
Yes. All right, everyone. Make sure you follow Winter and keep supporting her. And of course, support everyone on Love and Marriage DC. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.